Chosen one, you are finally ready to receive it all. This is not just a title. This is a transmission, a divine confirmation, a sacred unlocking of the door you've been standing in front of your entire life. Everything you've endured, everything you've released, every lesson that broke your heart and rebuilt your soul, it was leading to this moment. You are not just in alignment, you have become the alignment. And because of that, all things are now flowing toward you. This is a sacred turning point, a chapter of fulfillment, arrival, and overflow. Watch this message until the end and feel it move through your being. And if it resonates with your soul, write your warmest wishes in the comments, along with number 99 and number 777 to energize the universe with your intention. Subscribe now if your heart is calling you to walk this glory journey, because the path ahead is filled with everything you once thought you'd never receive, and more. You see, what you're stepping into now is not a reward. It's a reflection of the soul work you did when no one saw you, when the world gave up on you, but you refused to give up on yourself, when you kept showing up, even in silence, when you healed yourself in the dark, cried through transformation, smiled through pain, and loved anyway. This is not luck. This is a shift, and that shift is you. You've become the person the blessing was always searching for. You were always meant to hold greatness, but now you're capable of carrying it. There's a difference between wanting something and being energetically ready to embody it. Now, your frequency matches the magnitude of what you're calling in. And because you've done the inner work, truly done it, life is about to do something it's never done before. Surrender to you. You're not chasing anymore. You're magnetizing. You're not asking anymore. You're receiving. And you're not hoping anymore. You're knowing. That's the upgrade, the shift in consciousness, the return to divine remembrance. You are the vessel, and the vessel is now clean, clear, aligned, and open. What once delayed you can no longer touch you. You are no longer vibrationally compatible with lack, fear, or delay. You're operating in divine timing now. You've learned to release, not out of fear, but out of faith. And that chosen one is why the universe is moving in your favor with precision and grace. Not only are you ready, you've already crossed the threshold. You are standing in the beginning of everything you were once denied. And this time, it won't slip through your fingers, because this time, it's anchored into your identity. You're not waiting for the moment anymore. You are the moment. You've become the experience you were trying to manifest. You've shifted from the seeker to the embodiment. And this embodiment activates an entirely new reality. One where love flows freely, one where money chases you, one where peace is normal, one where overflow becomes your baseline. You are no longer surviving, you are arriving. Every timeline is shifting because your energy has shifted. The timelines that once rejected you are dissolving. The versions of you that were too small to hold this vision are fading. And the version of you who is finally ready, deeply ready, is here. Present, rooted, crowned. This version of you is not dreaming anymore. They're receiving. And what they're receiving is what's already theirs. The universe is responding to your identity now. Not your words, not your desperation, not your impatience, but your frequency. And your frequency is screaming, I am ready. Not just with your lips, but with your choices, your boundaries, your clarity, and your self-trust. And the universe knows what to do with that kind of readiness. It flows, it floods, it delivers. You've made peace with the waiting. That's why the wait is over. You've mastered the lesson of lack, not by running from it, but by sitting with it and alchemizing it into power. You've stopped negotiating your worth and started walking in your truth. And now, worth responds, resources respond, connections respond, the door responds. There is no next version of you. You are it. You've already transformed. You've already evolved. Now it's about walking like it, speaking like it, moving like it. Manifestation is no longer a thing you do. It's who you are. You are no longer asking life to approve of you. You're moving with the knowing that you were always chosen to rise. And here's the truth. Your rise is not just about you. You've become a lighthouse. Your alignment is breaking generational cycles. Your healing is opening portals for others to walk through. Your courage is making things possible for people who thought they were out of time. Your readiness is a global ripple, and what's flowing to you will overflow through you into everything and everyone around you. You're no longer on a healing journey. You are healed. You're no longer discovering your purpose. You are living it. You're no longer preparing for alignment. You are alignment in motion. And because of that, the abundance meant for you is tracking your energy like never before. What was once far away is now at your doorstep. And it's only the beginning. Your story is not a tragedy. It's a resurrection. The pieces of your life that were once broken are being reassembled into a masterpiece. What was once a delay is now a detour toward divine alignment. And what you once lost has made room for what is finally meant to stay. This season is not about reaching, it's about receiving. You are already enough. You are already there. You are already it. You've crossed a line that most people never do. The inner line. The one between desire and identity. The one between maybe someday and it is already mine. That shift doesn't come from reading another book or writing another affirmation. It comes from becoming the thing itself. And you, chosen one, have become it. That's why everything is arriving. Because you have. You're no longer outsourcing your power. You're no longer giving your energy to what drains you, hoping it'll eventually fill you. You've stopped explaining yourself, begging for permission, or trying to be palatable to those who were never meant to understand you. You've stopped shrinking. You've stopped second-guessing. You've stopped playing roles. And because of that, finally, you're standing in the raw, undeniable light of who you really are. You're no longer looking for signs. You are the sign. You're no longer seeking alignment. You are the alignment. You don't need outside proof anymore. You've felt the shift inside, and that inner shift changes everything. It turns time into a servant. It turns delay into delivery. It turns struggle into ease. You are operating from the frequency of completion. And from that frequency, all things flow. There's no need to prove anything anymore. You've already proven it to the only person who matters, yourself. And that self-trust has activated a new realm of possibility. The realm where you're not striving to be seen. You're glowing from within. The realm where opportunities chase you, not the other way around. The realm where rest is productive and presence is powerful. The realm where your very being is enough. You've moved out of resistance. You've dropped the energetic weight of past versions of yourself. You're no longer holding on to what hurt you just to justify why you haven't received what's yours. You've forgiven, released, transcended, and now you're lighter, clearer, and more magnetic than you've ever been. You are not just walking into blessings. Blessings are walking into you. People will look at you and wonder how it happened so fast. But they won't see the seasons you bled in silence, the nights you prayed for strength, not outcomes, the months of confusion that trained your clarity, the tears that polished your intuition, the letting go that made space for overflow. But it doesn't matter, because you didn't do this for applause. You did it for alignment. This is your reward for being faithful to your own evolution, for trusting yourself when there was no map, for staying kind in a world that hardened others, for choosing love over bitterness, peace over chaos, surrender over control. And now, you're receiving in waves, not because life is suddenly different, but because you are. You are no longer in survival mode. You are in soul mode. There's no panic in your system anymore, because you've remembered that everything that's meant for you is already finding you. There's no fear in your heart anymore, because you've remembered that the divine doesn't forget addresses. There's no delay in your mind anymore, because you've remembered that divine timing is never late, only precise. You've stopped negotiating with your destiny. You've stopped waiting for the perfect moment. You've stopped hesitating when your soul says yes. And that boldness has become your compass. You no longer need guarantees, because your faith has become the guarantee. You no longer need validation, because your existence is the proof. You no longer need the path to be easy, because you've become powerful. The people who couldn't see your worth were never meant to witness your rise. And now that rise is inevitable, irreversible. It's coded into your being. You've remembered who you are, and that remembrance is now attracting everything you forgot was yours. You're not just aligned with success, you are success. You're not just aligned with love, you are love. You're not just aligned with abundance, you are abundance. Your spirit has become the magnet. Your energy has become the message. Your presence has become the answer. And now, doors open not because you knock, but because you arrive. Paths clear not because you push, but because you step in. Opportunities align not because you force, but because you flow. This is the new standard. This is the new you. You are no longer praying from the energy of lack. You're creating from the frequency of wholeness. You're not asking, will it happen? You're preparing for it, living like it, knowing that it already has. You're building a life that reflects your inner world, peaceful, grounded, radiant, divine. You've stopped leaking your energy, and because of that, your power is multiplying. You've reprogrammed your mind, rewired your beliefs, reinforced your boundaries, reclaimed your timeline. You've exited the loops of delay, sabotage, and confusion. You've stepped into the timeline where all things are possible, because you've remembered that you are the source. And now that you know it, not just mentally, but spiritually, nothing can stop what's coming to you. You're not meant to struggle anymore. You're meant to soar. You're not meant to question anymore. You're meant to declare. You're not meant to rehearse your pain. You're meant to express your power. The world will feel this shift. It already is. Because you've done what most never do. You've become the embodiment of your prayers. And now, everything is real. Not someday, not almost. Now, you've stepped into a reality where ease is not a luxury. It's your natural state. You are no longer addicted to chaos, no longer interpreting stillness as stagnation. You've outgrown the noise that once distracted you, and now you move from peace, not toward it. That inner shift has recalibrated your entire field. Life doesn't respond to your wants. It responds to your energy, and your energy is now unshakable. You've become sovereign in your vibration. You don't chase, you choose. You don't convince, you calibrate. You don't beg, you broadcast. Your frequency is a declaration, a silent roar that echoes through dimensions. It says, I know who I am. I know what I carry. And I know that nothing real can pass me by. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. And alignment is the most powerful force on Earth. Because of this, what once felt impossible is now inevitable. The desires that used to feel far away are now orbiting around you. Why? Because the version of you that didn't believe, that doubted, that played small, no longer exists. That version of you was dissolved in the fire of your becoming. And what remains is pure, refined, and radiant. That is what the universe now mirrors. You no longer move to prove. You move because it's who you are. You take up space, not for attention, but because your soul refuses to shrink. You speak not to be heard, but to express the truth that lives within your bones. And when you walk into a room, everything rearranges to match your vibration. Not because you demand it, but because your energy leaves no other option. This is the season of bold receiving, of unapologetic embodiment, of daring to hold the very thing you once believed was out of reach. You've realized that your desires were never random. They were roadmaps. They were invitations from the divine, blueprints placed inside of you to guide you back home. And now that you've arrived, the blueprint is becoming real. You are no longer watching life pass you by. You are designing it. With your clarity, with your conviction, with your courage. You're not waiting for the world to pick you. You've picked yourself. And in doing so, the world must respond. Because when you choose yourself, everything you were once chasing begins to chase you back. There's no more negotiating with fear. No more tolerating what dishonors your spirit. No more pretending you're not ready. You are, and you know it. Your intuition has spoken louder than logic. Your body has moved faster than thought. And your soul has written a truth across your life that no one can erase. You are ready, finally, fully, fiercely. And when you are ready, life bends, reality conforms, opportunities multiply. The air itself becomes electric with possibility. You are not being tested anymore, you are being trusted. Trusted to hold the thing, trusted to carry the light, trusted to lead from love, trusted to rise in ways that no one expected, but your soul always knew were coming. The seeds you've planted in silence are blooming in public, and not for performance, but for confirmation. This is the proof that nothing you endured was in vain. Every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door, it all shaped the vessel that now holds the blessing. You're not a victim of your past. You're the alchemist who turned it into power. This is what it looks like to be in energetic harmony with your highest path. You don't have to scream for it. You don't have to hustle for it. You don't even have to fight for it. You simply become it. You embody it. You breathe it. And from that place, all things unfold. Perfectly, powerfully, precisely. You no longer need to seek the light. You are the light. You no longer wait to be called. You move like you're already chosen. You don't wait for timing. You are the timing. Every moment that passes confirms this truth. You are living what you once thought you'd only dream. And the most beautiful part is, you're just getting started. Your presence now holds codes. Your voice now opens gates. Your choices now anchor destinies. Because you've gone beyond self-awareness, you've reached self-possession. You don't just know who you are. You own it. You hold it. You wear it in your aura. And because of that, your path is being cleared in ways that logic cannot explain. Don't shrink now. Don't second-guess this shift. Don't let the old stories sneak back in. through the cracks you've already sealed. You've evolved too far. You've seen too much. You've healed too deeply. And now, everything about you screams truth, screams power, screams alignment. Your aura is louder than your words. People may not recognize this version of you. Let them adjust. You didn't come this far to be familiar. You came to be free, to walk in your divine difference, to stop hiding, to start glowing. And as you do, everything will rearrange. What's not aligned will exit. What's meant to remain will expand. And what's meant to arrive will do so, faster than you ever imagined. This is not luck. This is law. The law of resonance, the law of reflection, the law of receiving. And you, chosen one, are now operating in full mastery of all three. You've earned this ease. You've calibrated to this peace. You've anchored into this abundance. And now, it is all yours. You've entered the realm where inner alignment dictates outer reality, and not the other way around. You've walked through the fires of doubt, danced with uncertainty, sat in silence when no answers came. And still, you rose. But this time, the rising wasn't loud. It was silent. It was cellular. It was the kind of rising that begins at the soul level and transforms everything it touches. This is the kind of readiness that can't be taught, only lived. You earned it with every boundary you set, every pattern you broke, every fear you faced without turning away. And now, the energy you once had to force is simply flowing. The doors you once had to knock on are now opening before you even arrive. Why? Because you are no longer chasing what is meant to find you. You're in a timeline of congruence. The inside and the outside are no longer at war. You've aligned your habits with your healing, your choices with your clarity, your presence with your purpose. And that congruence is magnetic. People can feel it. Energy responds to it. The universe accelerates for it. That's why everything is moving faster now. Because you are no longer resisting your own power. You're not just vibrating higher, you're vibrating truer. And that truth is dangerous to everything built on illusion. That's why things have fallen away. That's why some people can't face you anymore. Not because you're wrong, but because you remind them of a version of themselves they've buried. You are light, and light disrupts darkness, even when it says nothing. But your light is no longer up for negotiation. You've sacrificed too much to dim it now. You've walked through too many shadows to pretend you aren't shining. And the truth is, you were never too much. You were too real, too true, too awake. And now, in this state of total awareness, you no longer need to explain your evolution. You embody it. This version of you is guided, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Your intuition is no longer subtle. It's your strategy. Your silence is no longer empty. It's your strength. Your boundaries are no longer reactive. They're sacred. And your energy, it's no longer leaking into every direction. It's focused, intentional, sharp. It carves the path as you walk it. You are no longer available for confusion, for delay, for contradiction. You've outgrown the waiting room of your own life. You've stepped into the hallway of divine fulfillment. Not because someone called you, but because you finally answered yourself. You stopped asking for a sign, and you became the signal. That shift changed everything. You now move with energetic consent. If it doesn't feel like a full yes, it's a sacred no. You've learned the art of holding space for what's meant and releasing what isn't. And because of that, your field is clean. Your aura is electric. Your frequency is potent. You are no longer heavy with indecision. You are light with certainty. And it's that certainty Not arrogance, but energetic clarity that shifts your outcomes. It tells life, I'm ready, not desperate, not impatient, just open, aligned, anchored. And when you live in this level of alignment, miracles become math. The extraordinary becomes your everyday, and everything you touch starts responding to who you are, not what you do. That's the key. You don't have to do more. You just have to be more of your true self. The self that isn't performing, isn't pleasing, isn't posturing, just being, fully, freely, fiercely. The kind of being that magnetizes everything without lifting a finger. That's the power you're in now, not the power of effort, but the power of embodiment. You've deprogrammed yourself from limitation. You've unplugged from the systems that once told you what was possible. You no longer ask for access. You give yourself permission. You no longer wait for alignment. You are alignment. You no longer beg for time. You are in divine timing. You no longer fear the unknown. You dance with it. There's nothing left to fear, because the version of you that feared was never your full self. It was a shadow, a placeholder, a mask. But you've taken that mask off now, and what's underneath is radiant. What's underneath is the real you, the one who was never lost, only buried under expectations, pain, and programming. But now you've returned, and your return has consequences, because your return is a signal to the universe. It's time. It's time to deliver what has always been yours. It's time to restore what you once thought was lost. It's time to reveal the blessings that were hiding behind your patience. The kind of blessings that don't just elevate you, they reveal you. They confirm everything you've always known, deep down to be true, that you were born for greatness. And this greatness isn't loud, it isn't forceful, it doesn't scream or demand. It just exists, fully, authentically. And that authenticity is the gateway. It is the doorway into timelines where everything clicks, where people align, where resources pour in, where your yes becomes magnetic and your no becomes a sacred seal that protects your peace. You're not climbing anymore. You're expanding. You're not earning worthiness anymore. You're expressing it. You're not lost in loops of self-doubt anymore. You're grounded in self-knowing. And that self-knowing is guiding every step, every choice, every word, every breath. This is not the beginning. This is the unfolding, the revelation, the blooming of a timeline you planted long ago, one you had to believe in when no one else did. And now you're seeing it sprout, not in isolation, but in integration, not in pieces, but in wholeness, not in someday, but in now. Now that it's here, not just the manifestation, but the version of you who can hold it. Everything begins to respond. Your present speaks louder than your past. Your posture reflects your purpose. Your peace shakes systems, and your clarity cuts through confusion like light through fog. You are not explaining anymore. You are becoming. There is a rhythm to your life now. It's not urgent, but it's unmistakable. A cadence that says, I am here, and I am whole. You are walking differently, not because your steps have changed, but because your soul has. You're no longer moving from survival. You're moving from stability. And that kind of movement reshapes everything around it. This stability isn't about control. It's about surrender. It's about trusting what's flowing toward you, because you finally trust yourself. You've seen what happens when you force. You've lived the exhaustion of over-efforting. Now you're resting in your power. Now you're receiving with reverence. Now you're letting go with grace. Because you know what's truly yours doesn't require gripping. It requires allowing. This is not about proving anymore. This is about presence. And presence is your power. Not because of what you can do, but because of who you are when you simply are. In this state, you become a mirror to others, not by trying to teach, but by being the lesson. Not by preaching truth, but by living it. You've stepped into sacred maturity, not the kind that ages you, but the kind that anchors you. There is weight in your energy now, not heaviness, but rootedness. You are no longer floating in fragments of potential. You are embodied, integrated, full. And this fullness is what opens realms. The universe doesn't just send blessings where it's desired, it sends blessings where it's safe. And you've become a safe place for miracles to land. Your nervous system can hold joy now. Your mind can hold success without sabotage. Your heart can hold love without fear. That's the difference. That's what ready actually means. People may notice the change in you, but they won't understand the price you paid for it. They won't see the nights you held yourself together with nothing but hope. The seasons you buried versions of yourself no one even knew existed. The years you kept believing, even when nothing made sense. But you'll know, and that knowing becomes your compass. You've left the frequency of waiting. You've transcended the loop of almost. You no longer wait for signs. You are the evidence. You no longer wait for the door. You become the opening. You don't wait for the stars to align. You walk like the stars, live inside your chest. You are no longer waiting on time. You are walking in divine time. From this space, everything accelerates, not because you're chasing it, but because you've finally stopped resisting it. You've opened yourself completely. Your frequency has become a beacon. Your body has become a portal. And your decisions are now rooted in truth, not trauma. That's why the old paths don't feel right anymore. That's why old stories don't fit. You're not there anymore. You're not even close to who you used to be. You've died many times to get here, not physically, but energetically. Ego deaths, identity deaths, emotional purges, soul releases, and every time something fell away, something more divine took its place. And now, you are a collection of your resurrections, a mosaic of every version you chose to leave behind in order to become this one. And this version doesn't chase. This version doesn't shrink. This version doesn't explain its glow. It just shines. It just walks. It just receives, not because it's entitled, but because it's aligned. You're not asking anymore, will it last? Because now you've built something inside yourself that can never be lost. The foundation is internal. The wealth is internal. The kingdom is internal. Everything else is just an extension of the fullness you've anchored within. That's why nothing external can shake you anymore, because nothing external made you. You are not here to keep proving you deserve good things. You are here to live like you already do. You are here to receive what is aligned with your truth, not your wounds. You are here to remember constantly that readiness isn't a destination, it's a decision, and you've made it. Every breath you take now is confirmation. Every aligned yes, every sacred number, every act of self-honoring, no matter how small, is part of the infrastructure that allows your future to land. You are no longer waiting on external conditions to tell you when it's time. You've become the condition. You are the shift. You are the sign. You are the permission slip. You are the activation. The world around you is just catching up. There is no going back. Not because you burned the bridges, but because you've become the path. And that path doesn't circle. It unfolds. It moves forward. It expands. It aligns you with realities that once only lived in your imagination. And now they live in your calendar. You are not building from fear anymore. You are building from frequency, from feeling, from fullness. And that kind of building can't collapse because it's not hollow, it's not performative, it's not borrowed, it's yours, it's real, it's ready, and so are you. You're no longer rehearsing your power, you are living in it. It has settled into your being like a deep breath you didn't know you were holding for years. There's no performance here, no rush to prove, no scrambling for signs, only the calm certainty of someone who knows that everything is happening exactly as it should, because you finally are. This reality isn't made of struggle, it's made of precision, divine alignment that moves like music, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud, but always in rhythm with your deepest truth. You've become fluent in this rhythm. You don't push when it's not time. You don't panic when it's quiet. You don't overthink the flow. You trust it. And because of that, your life is becoming symphonic. You don't have to micromanage miracles anymore. They come to you naturally, pulled in by the gravity of your embodiment. They recognize the signal you're emitting now, one of completeness, no desperation, no clinging, just openness, just grounded expansion, just, I'm ready without needing to shout it. You've stepped into an energetic conversation with life where your yes is amplified and your no is respected. That's because you've stopped betraying yourself. You've stopped contorting to fit what never truly fit you. You've stopped trying to keep things that your soul was always meant to outgrow. And the moment you chose your evolution over your comfort, everything changed. Now, the universe doesn't hesitate. It doesn't test. It moves. It delivers. Because it no longer has to guess what you want. Your vibration makes it clear. You're not sending mixed signals anymore. You're not praying for something while secretly doubting you can hold it. You're not sabotaging the door right before it opens. You're ready, and it shows. You've become a safe place for the future, a fertile ground for destiny. And not just your destiny, but the collective's. You are no longer just transforming for you. You are transforming for everyone connected to your light. Every person who meets you from this moment forward will encounter the version of you that knows. And that knowing will change things they didn't even know needed to be shifted. You are no longer collapsing under pressure. You are expanding under it. You've redefined what resistance means. It's not a block anymore. It's feedback. You listen to it. You move with it. You grow through it. You don't run. You don't react. You respond with wisdom you didn't always have, but that you now embody fully. That's what makes you powerful. Not what you've achieved, but how you hold your energy through everything. How you show up when no one's watching. How you speak when no one is validating you. How you move when no one understands your direction. That self-leadership is what placed the crown on your head. And now that it's there, it's not coming off. Your boundaries are no longer walls. They're gates. And only what resonates at your frequency is allowed in. You've stopped explaining those boundaries to people who were never meant to stay. You've stopped softening your truth to keep others comfortable. You've stopped editing your energy to be digestible. You've stopped negotiating your light. And this unapologetic authenticity, it's pulling in the kind of life you've always known was possible, but couldn't prove. It's not a fantasy. It's not a maybe. It's here. And it's here because you've stopped betraying the part of you that already knew how powerful you are. This version of you walks differently, talks differently, chooses differently. You're no longer picking from lack. You're picking from overflow. You're no longer settling for what's available. You're aligning with what's destined. And destiny does not ask you to beg. It asks you to become. You've stopped performing for people who never clapped. You've stopped breaking your own heart to keep others comfortable. You've stopped sacrificing your peace for temporary approval. You've stopped reaching for the bare minimum and calling it love. You've remembered that what you seek is not out there. It's inside. It always was. Now, you're not waiting for permission. You're giving yourself instructions. You're not waiting for someone to crown you. You've already remembered your royalty. You're not waiting for the door. You've realized you are the key. And what you unlock with your presence can't be locked again. This is a divine rerouting. You've been removed from what couldn't sustain your next level. You've been elevated above the noise that once drowned out your intuition. You've been refined by every breakdown. And now, all that's left is truth. Bold, clear, radiant truth. Your life doesn't require perfection. It requires alignment. And you are finally living it, not just speaking it, but breathing it, integrating it, becoming it so fully that there is no room for distortion anymore. You are no longer a seeker. You are a finder, because you've stopped searching for what you already are. Every version of you that tried, failed, hoped, cried, every one of them built this one. The one who doesn't flinch when things go quiet. The one who doesn't beg for clarity. They create it. The one who doesn't perform strength. They are it. This is what readiness feels like. Not force, not fear, but peace. Deep, undeniable, immovable peace. The kind that doesn't need to shout, it just radiates. And in that radiation, everything begins to move in your favor. Not because you're lucky, but because you're true. And from here, it all unfolds.